Aloha, hi-ho, and mabuhay. My name is Henry Jake Foreman, and I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we have a very special presentation. I have a group of students that came all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico, from the Native American Community Academy, and we're here on a cultural exchange. And the name of our cultural exchange is called Aloha K'e. And really the reason why we got that title is because we were learning about the movements here in Hawaii, and really with this movement of Aloha Aina. And we wanted to create a similar movement in New Mexico, so we named it Aloha K'e. K'e is a Navajo word and term that means relations, and it really signifies our connections to our ancestors, our connections to our friends and family. And I thought, what better way to explain our purpose than to say Aloha K'e. It means to the breath of life for all of our relations. So I have here with me Larissa Hohola, as well as Aaron Lee. If you all could introduce yourselves.
Hino kakima natuzai hamgoakitu. Hello, my name is Larissa Hohola, and I'm from Isleta Pueblo, and I'm a recent graduate from the Native American Community Academy, and my kuya Jake here was one of my teachers. He taught us in our Global Indigenous Praxis classroom, which focused on the knowledge of incorporating Indigenous knowledge within our classrooms and outside of the classroom.
That's a Aaron Lee and Shia. The Bethlehem and Nishlin, Shutsana, Bashichin, Nathan Dashiche, Kiani Dashanala, Goatsi. My name is Aaron Lee. I am 18 years old, just graduated from the Native American Community Academy. I'm Navajo, Cochiti, and Lakota. And yeah, happy to be here.
Great. Well, thank you all. So just let's talk a little bit about the background of our class. So the class itself is called Global Indigenous Praxis. And for me, I really got into this idea of praxis when I was a graduate student at UNM studying Indigenous planning and design. And what praxis is connecting theory and putting it into practice, and always having that kind of critical reflection. So Global Indigenous Praxis, I see it as kind of a celebration of what's going on in the world right now. And there's a lot of Indigenous people around the world that are really going back to their traditional ways, or in some ways kind of innovating those traditional ways and incorporating them into the 21st century. So we've been able to explore different movements across the world, including Hawaii. So we got to learn about the history, we got to learn about what's going on in 2016, and we saw that there's a lot of similar issues, but there's also a huge kind of cultural renaissance. As I see it, there's a global Indigenous renaissance. So what we've been doing is we've been creating projects, and we've been also incorporating our culture and incorporating our art into those projects. So one of the projects that we were able to do is actually screen print t-shirts for bike rides that we were able to do. And I think screen printing is really fun because not only is it something that is a practical skill, and a lot of my friends were able to make money throughout college and even in high school by creating their own t-shirts, but I think it's also a way to diffuse innovations. So what I call them is resonant diffusions of innovations, because they resonate, I think, with youth culture, and I think it's another fun way to share our culture and share these ideas. How we were able to get to Hawaii was a whole huge story, right? It was pretty incredible. But something that we were able to do is we were able to do a lot of bicycle trips, right? This year we went to Jemez Pueblo, as well as Isleta Pueblo, and we also even rode our bikes to Laguna Pueblo. And that was really fun because we were able to spread this message. And if and you see in this picture right here, we were able to kind of share this idea of pono, right? Of really being able to share the Hawaiian language, but also this idea of the importance of education, right? And that education not only happens within the classroom, but it also happens in places. So by traveling to these different places, we were able to learn a lot deeper in terms of our culture, in terms of history, and I think it was a lot of fun. And the last thing I'd like to share is we did a lot of great cultural events, right? During this past semester, we did this amazing event called the Luna Karuna Cipher, which means a night of compassion. And that was for the community. We had a lot of great singers, songwriters. Aaron, your band, two of your bands played there. We also had MCs. hip hop musicians play, a lot of youth be able to kind of be there, and I think it was probably one of the best events that I've ever been to, because it was an authentic kind of youth-led event. So I'm also going to kind of pass it to Larissa to talk a little bit about your experience in the class and how you were able to learn about digital strategy and really using media as a way to further fundraise and share our message.
Yeah, so in the classroom, I really focused towards social media outlets and digital strategy making. Through this class, for my senior capstone project, I've been working on a social media campaign called #BreakTheStereotype, and it's focused on breaking stereotypes with the Native American communities, because growing up, I know I've been stereotyped, as well as my fellow classmates. Some of them get stereotyped as alcoholics or drunks or dropouts, and that's not really the truth. There's so much more to who they are, and that's the whole purpose of this project. It's to help raise awareness and show people that we're not really like that, to show them that there is more to Native Americans, that we can be successful in what we're doing. And with social media, I've also been able to work with Jake. We've been doing radio interviews, as well as being able to get featured on the local news channel, just to raise more awareness about our trip to Hawaii and just how incorporating our Indigenous knowledge in our classroom is so much more beneficial to our learning process as students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because most schools, they fundraise like by selling candy, especially in Native America. We fundraise using a lot of fry bread, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we really wanted to change it this year, and we thought, what better way to fundraise than to use our minds, right? And use our intellect. So Aaron, maybe you could talk a little bit about your project and how you were able to raise funds for this trip.
Yeah, we definitely took an unconventional route towards fundraising, rather than just, like you said, selling candy or pop or going to like other things like that. We had bike trips. In my case, our group, we have a media production group. We have our musicians, and then we have our film and photographer. So my group was focused on creating a song and a music video to spread to the Native community, to inspire hope and beauty within Native youth. And where we got the inspiration for this project was me and my friend John. We both went to New Zealand on a cultural exchange, and the experience was very beautiful. We were influenced so much. I think after those 2 weeks in Aotearoa, we definitely were changed. When I went there, I think I took my culture as an advantage. Like, I kind of overlooked the beauties within just the simple sights, like the mountains, the food, the people, the language, and just being immersed within their culture helped me gain a new threshold back to beauty's arms. It's back to seeing how beautiful my culture can be, and just using this momentum and all of this passion, we put that into our project, and we got to present this to a lot of different audiences. People at the University of New Mexico and at that Luna Karuna cipher. My group, we're called Mothership Productions, and we presented at that fundraiser, and got a lot. It helps us with fundraising a lot. So.
Yeah, and it was really cool. It was like, I love seeing kids with big checks. And something that I was able to do as a kuya was also to participate in business plan competitions. So what the students did is they were able to really understand praxis through a process of first insight, immersion, application, and reflection. So what I was able to do as a teacher is I was doing the same homework as you all, right? We came up with logic models, graphic organizers, message maps, and really kind of practice this pitch to talk about our ideas. And I had the privilege of participating in at the University of New Mexico, their business plan competitions, and I was able to win $10,000, the first place. And I was the first Native American student to win that business plan competition. And I think after that happened, I think you all kind of maybe trusted me a little bit more and be like, okay, I think he knows what he's talking about. And then you were able to kind of create your own business plan. So I think that's that praxis in action. I want to know, what were some highlights for you all? What was your favorite part of this year or this trip?
I think definitely the Luna Karuna cipher, and then I'm just glad you convinced our group to do that business plan, and that was pretty fun and really interesting. Just finally getting to present our group to like a larger audience, and I didn't think we could make like that into our group, like just because before it was just like we call it a social enterprise, meaning it's just for the people. It's like a source of medicine, but I didn't know that we could transform that into a way to make a living, and that was just an interesting sight to see, and I think those two were my favorite events.
I'd say one of my favorite events in the classroom was also the Luna Karuna cipher, just because it was something community engaging. It brought the community together, and it had such diversity to it. It had people from different communities coming and presenting and doing different things. Aaron's band performed, and we also had some of my fellow classmates set up booths to help promote like some of their little businesses that they're growing. And that's really inspiring to see the youth taking charge and taking action in something that they're really passionate about. And that's really what the Luna Karuna cipher did for us, and that's definitely one of my highlights in this classroom.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. You know, something else that I love is art. You all like art?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right, so through all of our fundraising, we were able to fundraise over $16,000 to come here. I didn't think we could do it, but another reason how we were able to do that is we really connected with art, right, as a way to really resonate with other youth, to resonate with other Indigenous people, and we have over 14 people that came with us on this trip, and one of the people that came with us is JC Biale, and I just have some some pictures of his art because I think it's really powerful to see, and I think it really resonates, and I'm glad that he's here because I think we could use art, and that's our kind of soft power. We talk a lot about hard power, which is the kind of the violent part, the military part, but we also have that soft power to really change things. And I think that as Indigenous people is something that we've been using throughout our history to really get into people's kind of hearts and minds, and really to show the beauty of our culture, right? You all agree with that?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what are some things that you're excited for being in Hawaii? What are some things that you want to share or learn about?
I think being in Hawaii, after we had our little group meeting, I think a lot about preservation and just preserving like all that is here, like taking care. Like when I come, I'm not gonna leave trash or anything. I'm gonna try to keep it the way it was. And when I think of preservation, I think of preservation of my language, my cultures, relations that I have at home with my family and my friends, and all of that.
Yeah, I think preservation is a big point. In my culture, looking back in my tribe, Isleta, I don't see a lot of kids, I don't see a lot of the youth practicing their culture, and I remember I was like that as well until I came to NACA. And also coming on this trip, it's really made me think about becoming more engaged in my culture because it is important, and it's sad to see it fade away. And this trip is really helping me open my eyes to realize that my culture is something that's important, and I think sometimes I do take it for granted and look past it, but it's something that is beautiful and unique. And I think people do take it for granted, and I hope to not keep doing that and learn more about it and be proud of it even more so.
Yeah. And I think, from the moment that we stepped off the airplane, we've been greeted with so much love and compassion and passion itself, right? And we just want to really thank the Pacific American Foundation here on Oahu for hosting us. We're able to do service at the ancient fish pond. We're able to have a imu, and that was beautiful, amazing food. We're able to learn from kumus and really learn more about, I think, Hawaiian Indigenous education. Is there any shout outs that you all want to give to anyone?
Shout out to my family, I guess, for making this possible, and all of my friends that believed that we could do it.
Shout out to my mom, my dad, and the rest of my family for always being so supportive of me, as well as my friends.
I just want to give a shout out to all of the community-based organizations, all of the other charter schools like the Native American Community Academy. It's because of people's visions in the past that the reason why we're here right now. I think even the reason why we're in this kind of television station, it's because of the dedicated, loving people that really love the aina, right? That which feeds us. So I think I just want to kind of end with this and say, aloha aina, aloha K'e. You know, we really mean that, and we really are all related, and we really are interconnected, and that's why we have to love each other. That's why we have to love these places. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it.